How's it going, everyone? King Blacktooth here again with another Gwent video. This one is for the Weatherbound effect. Now what Weatherbound is when a player plays a weather effect, any cards with the Weatherbound effect of that particular weather, be it frost, fog, or there's no evidence for it yet, but rain probably will be in there too, will automatically get placed onto the board for free. And they can be summoned from your deck, your hand, or even the graveyard. So that's really powerful, the graveyard, because that means you can use the cards over and over and over again. The caveat is that if the weather is removed, like someone plays a clear weather, or I know there's quite a few other cards that can remove weather effects now, it's not as limited as it used to be, which is good because it was way too hard. Then I know like Geralt Igni can remove frost. If the weather effect is removed, then the cards with that Weatherbound effect go into the graveyard. But as I mentioned, if you can get that weather effect back on, then they will come out of the graveyard again. So it really allows you to reuse these cards time and time again, round after round, providing you can keep the weather effect up, which is really nice. The example we had was a 1 strength Foglet, and 1 strength isn't much damage at all, but it also had the ability, when it got played from the deck using this Weatherbound ability, it would double its strength anyway, like Fogwalker ability. And so it was pretty much always 2 unless you played it raw from the hand. So the reason the card says it's 2 strength is because it's already been buffed. On the picture where I'd taken that from, he had already buffed it because obviously it got summoned and then it was in fog, so it got doubled. And he's hovering over that card, so it shows it as 2. You can tell it's been buffed because it's a green number, so it's been buffed up, doubled. The problem with it being in your hand, because as I said, they come from the deck, which is where you want them to come from, or the graveyard. Now you don't really want to summon them from your hand. If you've got these in your hand, they're definitely cards you want to get rid of as fast as possible. So you want to get rid of them like at the very beginning of the game when you're redrawing cards, because it's just complete waste, because they're not musters, they don't come all at once. It's just a terrible card. 2 strength is really quite bad, and there won't be a weather effect on the board, so they won't get buffed. Now I don't know what the interaction is for somebody with Weatherbound fog that gets placed on a non-weathered fog line. They might get destroyed instantly. Less likely, they'll probably just stay on there and then get buffed in the fog, and then when the fog disappears, they'll disappear. That's more likely. But these are cards you definitely want to get rid of. You don't want them in your hand. So one thing that is kind of an issue with these is you don't want too many in your deck. Maybe go for a theme with them. Go for fog. Go for frost, you know. So we need to analyze the deck structures before that happens. If we were playing old Gwent with this particular ability, monsters would obviously want to try and go for Weatherbound frost, because everyone frosts monsters in the old Gwent because they had so many melees. So you want to kind of make sure you strategically put them in. Don't put too many in. I know the Foglets, there were 3 in the example footage we saw. So 3 seems to be the ideal number with Gwent. Everything seems to come out in 3s or 1s. So yeah, don't get too many, otherwise you risk getting some in your hand that you can't get rid of later at the very beginning of the game. So a really powerful ability. I do like it. It's obviously very important to see the deck structures and how you can work them in. I think this game is going to be very baiting with weather effects. Weather effects are going to play a lot bigger role, I think, and baiting people to use certain weather effects and stuff like that is really good, because if they play a weather effect and you get cards from it, that's a win, isn't it, really? So thanks for watching. Hope that clears up what Weatherbound ability is. And the symbol for it is a weather effect with a chain above it. I should have mentioned that a lot earlier. But yeah, it's a chain with the weather of choice on there as well. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care. I hope I see you on the next Gwent video. See you later.